8 years ago, this house was fully renovated. The drawings were impeccable, the execution was flawless as far as I could tell, but the design was probably not on point. And I fear that that is why I am being now called to redesign it. And this poses a few challenges on its own because I don't want to step into the project saying, yeah, well, you did all this wrong, so we have to redo it. And I especially don't want to be knocking down things which are relatively new, at least not if I can help it. I have no idea why my architect colleague did this the way he did back in the day. I wish I knew so I could have a better scope of the whole thing, but I'll just leave it like at that and focus on what I can salvage and do going forward. So as I said, there's nothing inherently wrong with the way things were built. The thing is, they're now asking me to increase the size of the house because they feel it's too small for them, but it's a family of 4 and the house is about 150 square meters, so it should be more than big enough. But once I start looking into the layout, I can understand this feeling of lack of space. Now, I committed myself to draft for them 3 options by hand. So what I will be doing now is 2 very different options. One would be considerably cheaper than the other, so they can freely choose which direction to go. Maybe it's a combination of the 2, maybe it's one over the other. I have no idea, we'll discuss that later. So I don't incur into additional fees while I still integrate their input. This way, everybody's happier. Now, because I'm doing these drawings by hand, it's going to be a lot quicker, especially because I'm going to do so with my iPad using an app which I absolutely love, which is Morpholio. And you'll see why in just a minute. Here, let me walk you through it. So I love this app because it allows me to design on the go and without having to take all the clutter with me. I mean, I don't need tracing paper, rulers, and pencils. I can just take out my iPad and I'm ready to go. Let me walk you through the problems I see on the renovation they did and how I am proposing to fix these issues. Now, the main issue of this house is that the toilet is located on the facade. That's not a problem on its own, but it becomes a problem here because the facade is only 6.5 meters wide. I can fit 2 bedrooms in 6.5 meters, but I cannot fit 2 bedrooms and a toilet. And that is a problem we'll soon be facing. The other problem I see in this house, and it's a direct consequence of having the toilet there, is the overall circulation. And you'll see in a minute. Everything here seems to be working fine. You come in through this entrance door, into this hall where you can take the stairs up, go to the loo here, which is great connection, go to the semi-public space, so guests would walk into there directly, or you can go into your own kitchen straight from the hall. All this is textbook. It's great. This is working just brilliantly. The problem is this new space here to the back. And this space is a problem because the height of that space is not even a legal one, meaning that if my clients were to decide to sell the house tomorrow, this space, they cannot really account it on the deed because it doesn't meet the minimum height. And today, that space is not serving a specific function. So instead of working as a buffer space between inside and out, it's actually working as a barrier between the two. And I love buffer spaces because I think they extend the sensation of indoors into outdoors and vice versa. But in this case, this is just not working. And my clients are using now this space as a storage or laundry area, which you can see is quite problematic because here is their garden, and their garden is a beautiful one with a great orientation towards the south. So this is something we're going to have to address. Let me walk you through the whole project and then we'll come back to the ground floor. On the first floor, we arrive to the landing here from where we can go to either bedroom on either side of this landing, or we can also go to the bathroom. The problem now starts to appear when we have to go through one of these bedrooms in order to take the staircase again, or in order to reach the toilet, which is on the facade. So having that toilet there doesn't allow me, even if I change the circulation, to have my 2 bedrooms like so. And that is problematic. I should also add that the facade is actually quite beautiful, so I don't really want to change this layout with this big window to the front. Now let's go to the last floor, and the last floor is basically exactly what you would expect. You arrive on that landing, and from that landing you can go to either bedroom, and you have a big storage space there. So that is all fine. The only issue I have here is that the bedrooms, because of that roof, are not that big. And this is contributing to the sensation that they have that the house is rather small. Now to the fun part, and let's see what I would suggest to do. Let's go back to the ground floor. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the scale to my drawing, and I'm gonna take a long dimension and set it. I've already taken a look at the legislation, and I know that I can extend outwards from this line about 3.5 meters. So I'm gonna do that, because this space, as I said before, we're gonna have to redo it completely. I think we're gonna close this door between the current kitchen and the dining room, because I'm going to be moving the kitchen to that space on the back. I'm thinking I'm going to add a kitchen here, like this, and we're gonna zone it so that we can have in this area here a sort of dirtier kitchen where you can have the sink and the fridge and that kind of thing. And then in this other area, which will serve as an extension of the dining room, we will put the breakfast corner. And I think that that will work rather well. And that will effectively connect the house better with the garden. And that space where the kitchen used to be, we're gonna use it as a pantry on one end and a cloakroom on the other end, because that hall is missing a cloakroom space. Especially if we're going to make the house bigger, we need a space to store the jackets, shoes, and whatever. So we're gonna have this pantry here, which I'm pretty sure they're gonna like, because they can come in with the groceries and stop by the pantry to drop things off before heading into the proper kitchen. And here we can have the cloakroom. Now, the other thing I want to do in this extension is I want to do a sort of mirror situation and have a massive island here, which can work as a cooktop on one end. My wife hates this kind of layout, and I have used it before, but I think it works quite nicely, especially in this kind of situation where you want to be able to walk through both sides. You can walk around it. I think it's fun. And there we can have our massive window out. So that is it for the ground floor. This is what I'm going to be proposing. In both options I'm going to do, the ground floor stays the same. And don't get me wrong, with Morpholio I can actually take out proper dining room modules and draw them, and everything would look beautiful, but I'm not trying to replace my CAD drawings with Morpholio. I'm actually just trying to express ideas to my clients. Now let's move on to the first floor. For the first floor, it starts to become a little trickier. The first thing we need to solve is that loo problem. What I thought as a solution was to have our wall be here, extend from the facade, and have the loo be bigger actually. And this will help, because by doing the loo bigger, we can have it be accessed from our hall. And then this will also be bigger like that. And we'll have to move a little bit the opening into that bedroom, unfortunately. That could be a little bit more expensive, but I think it's worth it. And our bathroom will be bigger as well. For this first option, I'm going to try and keep the prices down. So I'm not going to be building on top of that extension. But what I can do is I can propose for that window facing south and onto the garden to be significantly bigger. I don't know why we have a small window there. I think that this already starts to look significantly better, because we can access the loo from a space which is more common. It's not a private bedroom, and now this other bedroom has some very much wanted privacy. I hope that people from Morpholio don't get offended with my drawings. I know you can do significantly nicer drawings with Morpholio, but this is just the way I use it. And I actually use Morpholio to do my project consultations. If you're working on a project where you think my input could add some value, just book a consultation, links in the description below. So that's one of the two options I have for the second floor. In this option, I'm proposing to have both the girls' bedroom be in this level and their own master bedroom be on the above level. Now let's move into that one. Again, we're not building on the extension on this option, so I'm going to be working with what I have. That wall I can probably knock down because it's only holding the roof. I don't care about making that window any bigger because I'm going to be placing the bathroom of this level to this wall. But this here can be bigger again. When we work out the facade, we're going to be keeping in mind that these windows to the garden can be bigger. Then I'm going to be needing solar protection, of course. Now, the good thing about not building onto this extension here is that I saved some of the budget, which can probably now allow me to have custom built furniture all along that wall. Now that looks massive, but in reality, that is not as tall. It's only going to be a low furniture. We can place the proper bed here, which would be underneath the Velux, which is this one here. That way we don't touch the roof at all, which is expensive. Towards this end, we can place the wash basin, and here I'm going to close this area off to have my toilet. And then on the other end of this same area, we can have the shower. And it can be a massive shower. So this wall I'm going to keep us here a bit. So you enter the room through here, and we can have a shower there. This can be the loo. This can be a shower. A double wash basin. That could be fun. Now I forgot to mention that this area here, so this one, is significantly taller because it's underneath a flat platform. That's why I want to place the shower in that area. Okay, that's it for option 1. Now let's move on to option 2. Also, if you like this kind of content, I'm sure you love the newsletter, which I'm putting out on a weekly basis, and where I share all the insights of what I'm dealing with the different projects. Option 2, what I thought was, 1, we're going to build onto that extension, and we're going to move the master bedroom to the first floor rather than the second. This just gives us more options to work with. So let's go back to the first level. I'm gonna duplicate this layer because I liked the solution I offered for the toilet here, but I'm gonna be building on, as I said, building on top of this extension. So how does this look like now? Well, we're gonna build all the way out there, and we said something like 350 inside. Now the structural engineer is going to ask me to have something here and something there for sure. So let's already put that in. I want to keep this room private because I want to offer the possibility for them to have this be an office space that can double up as a guest bedroom. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add an extra bathroom, and I'm going to be placing it back to back next to the other one, and I'm going to access it from this area here, and we can have the shower here and the basins all the way across like that. Actually, these walls are going to be bigger, so the engineer is going to be happy because I want to have a walk-in closet as we come in, and then this would be another one. All this can be storage area, and we can have our bed be here, and here we can have a massive window. We can have a desk here. So that's the option for them to have their master bedroom on the first level. And if they would go through this option, then we need to have 2 bedrooms above. So let's hide all this. I'm going to duplicate the layer again, and I'm going to delete all this bathroom area because this will be now one of the girls' bedroom. This door can also go. Actually, this bedroom we're keeping as is. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be keeping this wall, and then we said we're building on top of this area, so we'll have to, and our new wall is going to be somewhere there. I don't want to change this structure if I can avoid it. It's already going to be expensive, this option. If we can cut costs somewhere without compromising the design, the better. But for now, I have a bedroom here. So if I just place this new bedroom in this new area here, one of the two bedrooms will be significantly smaller than the other one. You see, this one here is about 11 square meters, while this one here is 13 and a half. That may not sound like a lot, but I'm a family guy as well, and I know that siblings fight over anything. So let's try and reduce that difference as much as possible. And for this, what I thought as a solution was, rather than have the bedroom start where the extension starts, is let's push up the entrance to that bedroom here, have the closets for this bedroom there. Then we're gonna need, of course, the door. And here we can have the toilet here and the shower here. And we can keep the storage area there for now. And if you'd like to learn how they react to these proposals, subscribe so you can know when the next video drops. Ciao, Papa.